the seat of a 430 Scuderia that I've been kindly passed the keys to by Andy here.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much, dude. First of all, I'd like to get your take on what this car means to you and how it came about. Why did you go for a Scuderia?
Yeah, so it's fascinating because I had a friend of mine who had a Challenge Stradale. I had another mate of mine who went and bought himself a Speciale. Right. And I thought, well, there's a holy trinity. What's the other one to get?
Good call.
The other one to get is a Scuderia.
Yeah.
And it has exceeded my expectations in so many ways from what I thought it was going to be like to what it's actually turned out to be, you know, as an ownership prospect. It's been fantastic. So from my perspective, I think the way it sounds, the way it feels through the steering wheel in terms of the actual driving experience, it's virtually unsurpassed. And I've driven so many different cars. This is amazing.
So the purpose of this video is that I have a bit of a story about my ownership experience with a 430 Scuderia. I had one for about 6 months, and not to scare you, but I wrote mine off.
Thanks for telling me that now.
This is a part of the story that I haven't told Andrew yet.
Awesome.
Yeah, so this is the story about how I wrote off my Scuderia.
Excellent.
Sorry to drop that on you last minute, but I thought if I told you, it'd scare the shit out of you. So, rest assured, since then I've matured a lot. So, things are fine.
Don't worry, I've written off a few cars.
Okay, cool.
So it's fine.
Do you know what? I do believe, obviously, touch wood, as long as you come out of a crash, you learn a lot from it.
You do.
You learn a lot.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and believe me, it almost did. so I class the Scuderia as my first proper supercar. Before that, I had Audi R8, and I had a Porsche Cayman S as well. Both great cars, but it's not until you get into the realms of a prancing horse or something like that that you really appreciate what a thoroughbred supercar is. And the Scud became my first supercar and also first Ferrari as well.
It's the same for me.
So, first proper supercar.
Yes.
And I went back home to where I grew up for two reasons. I was going back to visit an old friend, show him the car, take him out in it, and also where I grew up, the roads there were fantastic. So I thought this is going to be a great opportunity. Go and see an old friend, go around some great roads. Brilliant. And we did, and we went around, had a great day. I'm driving back home, and we went the back roads to find some
which
great
you knew,
roads,
obviously.
which I knew off by heart, right? Like the back of my hand. At least I thought I did. We were, honestly, when I say this, we were 2 miles from home. And I was driving down this road that I was convinced there was at least another 500 yards worth of tarmac, and there wasn't. There was not, and I was convinced in my head that around here it come around to the corner, then a straight, then a T-junction. What actually happened was I came around the corner and it was just T-junction. Fortunately, it was late at night, there was no traffic, and I went straight on at this T-junction, hit the curb so hard that the wheels shattered the discs. Fortunately, that impact took most of the energy. The car took off. I landed in a sort of half bush, half tree, like this. Full airbags went off, everything. Obviously, if I was going slower, I'd have stopped. The experience was just, it recalibrated how I drive now, because it doesn't matter how good I think I know a road, and especially if I definitely don't know it.
You slow down.
Not only do I slow down, but I just read the road differently now. And it was amazing. A bad night, man. That was a really bad night.
That's an amazing one. Firstly, you're lucky you're alive, which is
absolutely.
That's brilliant.
That's right.
Second thing is, it is when you, and I've had a few accidents myself, unfortunately. When you have that accident and you experience it, that experience it just changes the way in which you drive.
It totally changes you.
You have to, in a funny way, you almost have to have that type of experience in some environment. It would be best to have it in a very safe environment.
Absolutely,
and that's why advocating, because I've got 3 boys who are just about to get to drive soon. get them out into a safe environment like a racetrack with a car, and they can figure out what happens.
Let them spin out.
Absolutely.
Because
because it changes your
if
view
you
of
haven't
things.
had an experience of a car breaking loose on you, losing control of a car, because I think people's perceptions are, I'm in this secure metal box, but they
guess
bend
what?
like
it's a Ferrari.
cardboard. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's a Ferrari. You can handle better.
That's
you can
right.
go faster. You can stop
totally.
faster.
Exactly.
So I'm fine.
That's right.
Yeah.
Although
Until you're not.
I will say one thing. Before I hit the curb, I did shed off a huge amount of speed. So on the one hand, I was driving faster because of the car I was in, but it did. I tell you what, it shaved off some pace. But God, I bet I hit that curb at 50. And
to shatter the discs,
shattered the discs. Both of the wheels were just written off. The car was written off. It was totally screwed. So that evening, because I'd driven back to where I grew up, my family lived in the area. So I phoned my dad, who didn't know I was back in the area, because I was just seeing a friend. And he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" This is like 12 o'clock at night. I was like, "I'm in a hedge." And he was like, "Oh." He was like, "Where?" I was like, "As it happens, 2 miles from your house." So he came out, and what was interesting, I was much more concerned about what he thought
Dad's
of me.
reaction,
Way more. I didn't care about the car as much as I did about him.
What's Dad going to think about what
Exactly.
I've done?
He was like, okay, well done. You've afforded your first nice car.
Now you've written it off.
Now you've gone and binned it. And my friend was in the car too, so I kind of put his life at risk. And for 3 months, man, I just felt terrible. Like I played it over and over, so much so that I went back the following week and I replayed it. I went down there really steady, and I just went back and I was like, how did that go wrong? We were probably talking and not really thinking straight.
You know what? Most people won't do that, and that's actually a really good thing to do, because then you realise actually what mistake you've made.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So,
I mean, ultimately, and this is obvious, just going too fast. That was it. But I wasn't looking back. I just wasn't concentrating. We were talking about the car, talking about old times, and I was going. And as you well know, in a car like this, it's effortless. You can thread this down a country lane at 80 and just not think about it. So I went back there, and I actually parked up and I walked the road. How did I do that? So bad. Fortunately, both myself and my friend were totally fine. He actually did break his knuckle because his instinct was to stick out his hands.
Right, and then the airbag.
Exactly. And all the airbags went off. And when airbags go off in a car, it's like someone's had a talcum powder bomb. It just goes white. So my dad turns up anyway, and as soon as he knew I was fine, he got his phone out and he filmed it all.
Did he?
And I was like, so what's great is I'm able to share it now. So in this clip, in this video, I'll be splicing it. There's fluid leaking all over the place there.
Red fluid.
It's good luck. It's an expensive noise, isn't it?
That's horrendous.
But what was interesting, he was filming it and he was like, "Do you know what? The next time you buy a fast car, I'm going to show you this." And he was like, not laughing, but he was like quite smug about it. He was like, "I've been there, don't worry. Fortunately, everything's fine." He says, "But just remember, you're not Ayrton Senna." And since then, I've just been a more careful driver. And the guilt that I sort of carried with me, because my friend was there as well. He was just there for a nice time, and it ended up in a really bad way.
That's a shame.
But
still your mate?
Still mates, great mates, and since I've got new cars, he still gets in with me.
I got one good mate of mine who's a very nervous driver,
Right.
And we went on a track day, and he was in his 458.
Nice.
In Monza, of all places.
Oh, fabulous track.
It's an amazing track.
Fantastic.
And he absolutely hates somebody else driving him.
Okay.
However, he said, because it's you, Andrew, I will stay in the car and I'll try and do as many laps as you go. He did 6 laps and he went, I gotta get out.
6 laps isn't bad actually.
He did really well. He did really well.
Monza's fast as well.
It's a crazy
really
track.
Fast, yeah.
Crazy track.
Fabulous.
I've had a wheel come off on a 599 down one of the straights in Monza.
You are kidding me.
Yeah.
What happened?
We had parked it up over the side, and
it didn't
no, it didn't. Thank goodness, because what had happened? We've been round, and I'm going to get the ones wrong. So we felt it going down the main straight, and we felt it going down the main straight. Went round a corner, and it's like, this is weird, didn't know what it was. Yeah, like just a little shimmy,
Okay.
And so it was a little shimmy, and we're going, this is odd. And then we started going round the 2 Lesmos, 1 and 2 Lesmo.
Yeah.
And it was round the second Lesmo, the back just started stepping out massively, and then the
wheel came off.
Literally came off. Yeah, and basically it came off. Got it back to the pits, and minus a wheel, and they set about trying to figure out what the hell happened to it.
To be fair, I'm amazed it didn't spit you out.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
it was fortunate
at that speed as well,
because we're doing probably 270, 280 down the main straight, kilometres down the main straight.
Wow, yeah.
And in that car, and if it had gone off then, that's when it would have been a very, very bad accident.
Yeah.
So we were very lucky.
Amazing, man. Wow.
But that was pretty cool, pretty unbelievable experience as well.
So, what's your worst stack then?
Bloody hell. My worst one was by far when I was 18 years old, and I'd been given a new flash car by my father.
Yeah.
Because I begged him to, because I've been a car nut since forever.
Cool. Yeah.
And it was a Suzuki Swift GTI, which back in the day, in 1989, was a pretty cool, fast little rice bucket in Australia. And I went around a corner.
Yeah.
On a big 6-lane highway.
Yes.
Up in the north of Sydney, and went around a massive corner, way too fast. Got it sideways over the top of the brow because the whole car got light. Went sideways to the top. Corrected it.
Okay.
Went back the other way.
Yeah.
Corrected it.
And it's
but I hit the central reservation. Spun it full 360 under the, and all I remember is the sparks flying from the roof as it went over.
You were upside down.
Upside down.
Oh, so you did it properly.
I did a full 360 back onto the wheels.
Carried on going.
Fortunately, I did carry on going. Fortunately, the one thing was it was an orange going to an amber light going to a red light in the intersection, and I went through the intersection on my roof while all the lights around were red. And it was that split second.
Wait, this is like, I'm either going to make this or not.
Yeah, split second when everything was red and all the cars were stopped, and I literally went through my roof through the red lights and survived.
Right.
Because I would not have survived if
cars had been going the other way. In one of those. Good God. It just makes you think when it's your time, it's your time, and obviously
and that was not my time.
It wasn't your time.
That wasn't my time.
I mean, it's funny how we could both sit here now and sort of have a bit of a laugh about it, but at the time, it affected me for months. Honestly, it really did. I was not in a good way.
Probably, I would say longer than that actually.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I did do, and it's exactly what you did, which has resonated with me, was I went back and walked it. I walked it to figure out what actually I had done.
Yeah.
Of course, it was speed. I was going too fast.
Yeah.
But it was the fact that I lifted off at a certain point that I should not have done.
Yeah.
In a front-wheel drive car and got it massively sideways. And what is that?
We just got done by a Seat. A yellow Seat.
A yellow Seat, even better. Excellent. So but it teaches you, it's the experience.
Absolutely, yeah.
If you don't die in a car accident like that, it makes you a much better driver.
I think that going back to it and walking it and
massively
re-driving it
massively.
for me was like, when they say when you fall off a horse, the first thing you should do is get back on it. Going back, like I was actually quite nervous. I was shit. And honestly, I went back. It was only a week later, and I went in the hedge and I picked up Scuderia parts. I picked up bits of. So that's why you shouldn't go fast. Wow. Yeah, exactly. So we just had someone overtake a cyclist on our side of the road. Fortunately, we were chatting and doing 30. I honestly think if we were doing a much faster then, that might have been a bit tight.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, yeah.
Here we are. We sound like granddads.
I know we do, man. It's so funny.
It's like, oh, that guy's going too fast.
Yeah. But what's funny about this video is you had no idea that I was going to tell you that. Can I borrow your Scuderia to chat about the fact that I wrote a Scuderia off? Yeah.
Excellent. You are driving this very, it's brilliant.
The last time I was in one of these,
exactly.
didn't work out too well. So,
excellent. That's a good chat, though. It's a good chat.
No, it's great, Ben. I really appreciate you letting me drive it. It's amazing.
Here's the thing. This is what these cars are for.
Yeah,
it really is.
Sharing experience is a great thing.
Love cars. I think they're absolutely amazing. I want to show good cars to as many people as possible in my life.
Yeah, totally.
And so the amount of times you can get out and you can share this experience with people,
absolutely, man.
It's the way to do it.
Yeah, that's actually why I started my channel, was because I wanted to take people along for these rides, as it were.
It's very cool.
It's great, man. And also, what I've found through cars is I've met fantastic people. Yourself, you know, it's great. Up until now, I've known you like half an hour, and here we are. I'm driving your car, we're chatting about life experiences, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And you won't.
Let's try and hear the car. It's still got a bit of that old race car about it, you know?
Yeah, it does.
Pretty special stuff.
Now I don't get to do this normally, so I'm going to video you taking off up here.
Yeah, do it, man. Drop a cog.
Go for it.
Oh, that shift!
That's insane.
Oh, it sounds so good.
It's such a cool car.
Wow. Why don't they make them sound like this anymore, man?
Well, I don't know, because the Capricer does make a little bit of difference.
Oh, hell yeah.
But
that's special.
Awesome.
That's special. Yeah. Because you buy these things with a heart. Let's face it. These are not a rational decision, in any means. But that just pulls at the heart. Totally. You can convince you. Good boot space. Lovely. Do you know what's great? I love looking through the rear view mirror, seeing the carbon air boxes. It's just amazing.
Good stuff.
Buddy, thank you so much for that. Cool. That was fantastic experience. I hope that story I dropped on you wasn't too nerve-wracking. No, I appreciate it, and you've got yourself a beautiful car.
Yeah, it is fantastic.
Fabulous. Thanks a lot, dude.
Yeah,
cheers.
Awesome.